Hey guys, welcome back to the Films 128 channel. Today, another camera off eBay. That's only place my cameras come from. eBay, and then a few from like antique stores. So this was another eBay find. Yashica Minister D. Very, very unique camera, and it's going to have some interesting features that I've never used before. For one thing, it's a rangefinder. I've never used a rangefinder camera before, so that'll be interesting. And it also has the most unique light meter system I have ever seen in my life. Very, very strange. So when you push the light meter button, a little line will tell you what number you want to use. Then on the front of the lens, you dial in that number. And that basically isolates a range of exposures, shutter speeds, and f-stops that will work. It's like all of the rings are linked. So as you turn one, it'll affect all the other rings and kind of lock you from going too far in any direction. So for example, if I was to expose this right now, it says where I'm sitting, 12. If I dialed in a 12, I could shoot at a 15th of a second at f16, or 30th at f11, 60th at f8, and so forth, up to a 500th of a second at 2.8. But if I say I did the light meter and instead of 15, now I'm limited to where I can go. I can only go to 125th of a second to f16, or I can go to 500th of a second at f8, and it will not go any further. Very, very unique lighting system, or light metering system. I have never seen anything like that in my life. So that's going to be fun. Going to be interesting. So let me show you the first shot I want to try, and then I'll only show a little bit, but I'll shoot the whole roll and we'll see what we get here. One thing I failed to mention, I don't really use Kodak black and white film. I don't like it. I just never like the tonal values that I get. So we won't hold that against the camera. But I had a roll of Kodak TX and I just wanted to use it up. So that's what we're using today. I prefer all of Ilford's black and white films, and I prefer Kodak for Ektar and Portra films. So it's just a personal preference, but that's what I had. That's what I wanted to get rid of, that one roll. So we're going to test it out with this guy today. So one of the first shots I want to get today is where you can see the top of that church and the train tracks curving right in front of it. I'd like to get a shot of that. A couple variables here though. One thing is, first, I've never shot on a rangefinder focusing system, and the other variable here is that the sun is right in my eyes. I should change angles. Hang on a second here. So one of the other issues is that the battery that is in here is a modern battery, and originally it's supposed to be probably silver or zinc. I think it was silver. And there's a slight voltage difference between the batteries of when this first came out, what was supposed to be used in it versus what fits in it today. So I'm going to use my phone light meter and see if it matches up. Let's see what this thing is saying. So generally, I'm going to frame this. Okay, interesting. And then the light meter is showing me set to 400 ISO, which is what I got. And the light meter is showing me 12 or 13, so let's see what that actually works out to. Means I can go up to, I like a wider f-stop. Could be a 60th of a second at f11. Could be 125th at f8. So let's see what happens here. Let's see what the light meter on the phone says, if they match up. This is why I like having a strap. I gotta put the camera down. Light meter. Camera meter. Alright, we got 400 ISO. So let's see if f8. Interesting. Uh-oh. Well, according to the phone light meter, this thing is off, to say the least. It seems like it, too. Interesting. So here's what we'll do. I'll take the shot with what it's suggesting, and then I'll take the shot with what the phone light meter is suggesting. But I think for the rest of my shoots today, I'm just going to go with what the phone says. I think this is way off. I think it's bright enough here that f8 at 125th of a second, well, see, it keeps fluctuating. I think 125th of a second at f8 would be blown out completely, but we'll see if it's right. I don't think it's right. Try f11 at 125th. I think it's going to be blown out. For the second shot, I turned it up to closer to what the phone was saying, which was 500th of a second all the way to f16, so everything should be in focus. So the Yashica Minister D, not a bad camera. First time using the rangefinder focus system, and it's okay. I botched a few photos, I'll show you. It's a little harder to focus than I'm used to, but for the most part, it worked out okay. Light meter system, like I said in the beginning, strangest thing I've ever worked with. In the way it locks all of the different exposures, so you can't over or underexpose. You kind of just have to stay within what it wants you to. Kind of interesting. I mean, obviously you can under and overexpose if you turn the whole number, but I'm saying if you follow what it says, it works out okay. I will say that I think the shutter is firing at varying speeds, because as I showed with the first photo that I took, there's no way that should have been brighter at the second exposure that I had. No way. So, and it seemed to kind of, some stuff was a little overexposed, some stuff was a little under. Kind of, so I think just age, but generally nothing Photoshop couldn't fix. So it still shoots perfectly fine. The noise in these photos, it's another reason why I'm just not a fan of Kodak's black and white films. I don't know what it is. It's just my opinion, but, well, I do know what it is. It's the noise level.
the 400 TX is a noisy damn film. Look at that background. So that's why I stick with Ilford's black and white. It's just me. If you like noise, shoot Kodak. I think even the HP5, which some people say is a noisier film, not to the extent of what I get with 400 TX from Kodak. Never touched a Yashica before, and this had some really unique features. So it's fun to shoot on these kind of cameras that, rather than just shoot the T70 over and over and over. I love just doing these auctions, eBay auctions, and just hoping for the best, not spending a lot, and just trying out these new cameras that are just really strange. I've got a bunch that are going to be coming up in videos soon. I went on kind of like a binge of just bought a bunch of them. So there's going to be a lot of unique cameras coming up in episodes. But anyway, I guess that's it for the episode. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And the Yashica Minister D, another decent eBay find for under 30 bucks.
Of us.
But the photos all turned out pretty decent. What does that do? No idea.